Hello friends, here in this video we will see the definition of the spring and also function and types of the spring, right? So first we have to start with definition of the spring, right? So spring is the defined as an elastic or resilient body whose function is to deflect or deform when the load is applied and recover its original position or original shape when load is removed, right? So definition of the spring is defined as the elastic or resilient body. It is the property of the material, right? Spring is defined as the elastic or resilient body whose function is to deflect or deform when the load is applied and recover its original shape when the load is removed, right? Now function of the spring. Okay, many types of function. So first one is to apply the force. For example, spring in clutch, brake, spring loaded valve, etc. Okay, apply the force. Second one is to measure a force. Okay, in the measure of force, for example, spring balance. Okay, next one is to store an energy. For example, spring in clocks, toys, etc. Right, and to absorb shock and vibration, right? For example, spring in vehicle suspension system like bike, car, anyone, right? Okay, so this is the function of the spring, right? Next one is types of spring. Types of spring, there are 5 types of spring. First one is helical spring, second one is conical and volute spring, third one is torsion spring, fourth one is disc or belleville spring, and last one is leaf or laminated spring. Okay, clear this concept of the spring. So first, okay, spring is defined as an elastic or resilient body whose function is to deflect or deform when load is applied and recover its original shape when load is removed, right? And the function of the spring, and last one is the types of spring. Okay, first we can see the helical spring. Okay, first one is what is helical spring. What is helical spring? So helical spring are made wire wound in the form of helix. Helical springs are wire wound in the form of helix, right? And the cross section of the wire will be circular, rectangular or square, and it is depending upon the type of load and deflection requirement, right? Okay, but in helical spring, two types. Okay, it is the based on the axial force. So first, classification of helical spring, right? And based on the axial force. So we can see it is the simple diagram of helical spring. Right, this one is helical compression spring. Okay, and another force act outside and this force is inside, right? Okay, this one is helical compression spring and this one is helical tension spring. Okay, so this one is the classification of spring based on the axial force, right? So this one is helical compression spring and this one is helical tension spring based on the axial force, right? It is the simple diagram. Okay, and another one is helical spring based on the helix angle. Based on the helix angle, right? Okay, now there are two types. First one is closed coil helical spring and second one is open coil helical spring. Okay, so what is closed coil helical spring and what is open coil helical spring, right? So first we can see the closed coil helical spring. Okay, so the helix angle is very small. Helix angle, that means what is helix angle? This one is helix angle, right? So the helix angle is very small, usually less than 10 degrees centigrade. Okay, and the coils are so close, there is very small gap between the two consecutive coils, like this one, right? Okay, what is closed coil? The helix angle is very small, usually less than 10 degree, and the coils are so close, okay, and very small gap between two consecutive coils. It is called closed coil helical spring. Okay, and next one is open coil. In open coil, opposite of the closed coil, the helix angle is large. Helix angle is large, usually more than 10 degree angle, right? And large gap between the consecutive coil, two consecutive coils. It is called open coil helical spring. Like this spring is closed coil and this one is open coil because the helix angle is more than 10 degree and here less than 10 degree, right? And two consecutive coils are, gap between two consecutive coils is large and here gap is less. So this one is a open coil and this one is a closed coil helical spring, right? Okay, second one. Next one is conical and volute spring and volute spring. Okay, we can see the simple diagram. Okay, this one is a conical spring and sorry, this one is a volute spring. Okay, these both spring are nearly same, but these are the straight line and this one is curve line, right? So conical and volute spring are, these are used in special applications where suppose a telescopic spring action require, right? Used in telescopic, right, application. And the spring with the spring stiffness that increase with the load is desired, right? So this one is the conical and volute spring, right? Next one is sorry, in this spring, wait, in such spring a number of load, sorry, the load is increased, the number of active coils is gradually decreased, right? What is active and what is inactive we can see in later in the next. Okay, the load is increased, the number of active coil, remember the word active coil, gradually decrease, and the decreased number of coils results in increasing the spring stiffness, right? Okay, the load is increased, when we can increase the load, the number of active coils is gradually decreased. Okay, and the decreased number of coils, its a result is increasing the spring stiffness, right? Next, third one, torsion spring. Okay, what is torsion spring? First we can see the figure of the torsion spring, right? Okay, this one is the spring. Okay, side view we can draw. Okay, this one is a torsion spring. Okay, this is the two types, it is helical or spiral types. So this one is a helical type and spiral type means in the spiral shape. Okay, this one is helical torsion spring and this one is a spiral spring, right? Okay, it is used as a apply a small torque. When a small torque is required, then this type of spring are used on that place, right? Suppose for example, helical torsion spring are used in a door hinge, right, and automobile starter. Okay, application is door hinge and automobile starter, and the spiral spring is used in mechanical watches, Generally the spiral spring is used in the watch, right? And clocks, also clocks, right? So this one is the torsion spring. Okay, two types of torsion spring, helical torsion spring, and second one is spiral spring. Okay, it is used when the small torque is required, and application of the helical spiral spring is door hinge and automobile starter, and the spiral spring is used in the mechanical watches and clocks, right? Next, disc or Belleville spring. Disc or Belleville spring. Remember the word disc or Belleville, right? First, we can draw the figure. Suppose okay, this type of spring is disc or Belleville spring. Okay, these are used where the high spring stiffness is required. Where it is used when high spring stiffness is required, right? For example, okay, its construction is, it is a made of number of conical discs, right? This one is like this one. Okay, we can draw a single disc, right? This one is a single conical disc, right? And hole in it, right? It is made of the number of conical discs held together by a central bolt. Okay, it is joined with the use of the central bolt or a pipe passing through the disc hole. Okay, central bolt or use of the pipe, okay, passing through the disc hole, right? It is a Belleville spring. Clear? And next and last one is leaf or laminated spring. Number 5 and very important, leaf or laminated spring. We can draw first simple diagram of leaf or laminated spring. It is just a rough line diagram. It is just a line diagram of leaf or laminated spring, right? leaf or laminated spring. Okay, now we can see the construction of it. It consists of a number of leaves, right? This one is the leaves held together by means of clamp and bolts. It is joined with clamps. This one is clamps and this one is bolt. It consists of the number of leaves held together, okay, by means of the clamps and bolts. It is the simple diagram of leaf spring and simple introduction of the leaf spring. Okay. Again repeat what is spring, function of spring and types of spring. Okay, first spring is defined as the elastic or resilient body whose function is to deflect or deform when load is applied and recover its original shape when the load is removed. Now then after we already see function of the spring, then after types of spring. Okay, so these 5 types of spring are most important, right? Okay, next we can see the terminology of the spring in the next lecture, right? Thank you.